In your mind's eye, you're young, with family, sitting outdoors in the sun, and there's a lawn chair next to you. It's not empty. It's someone from the older generation sitting there with you. In your mind's eye, who is it? In your mind's eye, they have something in their hands. What is it? What are they doing? What are they saying? Open your eyes. Don't look at your neighbor. Write down what you saw, what you thought of, what your memory gave you. Now there's a person next to you or a person in front of you. I just want you to verbalize to that person a little bit of what you got. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this. It's like 30 seconds each. But put it out into the world. Tell somebody near you what it is that you wrote down. And if you didn't write anything down, tell them what was in your head. Great.
I just missed
All right, I hate the silence, you guys. But you could talk for half an hour. You could talk for half an hour. You would get additional ideas. You would jot things down. And this is why, first of all, your memory and your emotions are the door to your writing. All right? But it's also why a writer's group really matters. Because alone, without being able to talk about what you just did, it's a more lonely endeavor, right? But the buzz in this room when you started talking was like a hive of bees in here, and all of those memories and all of those ancestors and all of those people, you know, in spirit, in memory, they were among us. And you know, if that doesn't make the hair on your arms stand up and your heart open up to literature and to writing, I don't know what will. So you did wonderfully with that, wonderfully. Shove that piece of paper into your pocket, hang it on your refrigerator, you know, leave it on the floor of your car, whatever it is you do. But, you know, but keep the idea, keep the thought. You started today. You started a new something today. So I thank you for that. We're done with the keynote address. I'm going to change, and I'm going to introduce our first author of the day. So that author is Arthur Kola. He's going to talk to you about Vivi's War. Arthur is a prolific author, and you may know him from his murder series, including Murder at the Vatican, Murder in Capri. His exuberance is infectious, both in person and in his writing. As a former history teacher and principal, he naturally creates complex and realistic settings and equally fascinating characters who navigate the wrinkles in history. Arthur travels extensively as part of his writing experience. He visits and immerses in the places and the people in order to write them authentically. And today he'll be reading from his new book, Beauty's War, published by Newman Springs in 2023. Come on up.
Thank you.
See how special you are?
I am special. The other day, we had dinner at the local Italian restaurant in our town of Burlington, Wisconsin, called Napoli's. And it was in honor of my wife's Mother's Day thing. And my little granddaughter, 7 years old, was there, and my son and his wife and so forth. And they were making a fuss. And the little girl goes, "Papa, are you a celebrity?" She was making me feel like a celebrity here. So I thank you very much. You're awesome.
You are a celebrity. I mean, you're a writer. You're a celebrity.
Many years ago, when I started writing, I began presenting books here at Casa Italia. Dominic would invite me every year, and so it's been an honor for me to be here for a long time. When 2023 was rolling around, I was thinking of that being kind of I don't know, what would you call it, a special year or a scary year for me, because it was one of those benchmark birthdays that you don't like to talk about, like Dominic mentioned, fearing to cross that threshold of 80. And so I said, well, let's do something positive about that. What was going on in 1943 when I was born in July of that year? And I began doing research, and part of that research was going to Italy and visiting my ancestral homeland and my ancestral village, which was called San Pietro Avellana, in what is then was Abruzzo, but now is called Molise. And it's right on the border between the two provinces, and it's in the Apennine Mountains. And the mayor knew that I was writing a book, and he took me around the little town and so forth, and immersed me in the history of this little village, which I found fascinating, because as a history teacher, not only was there a historical aspect of that, but the people he was talking about were my ancestors. The people who came to Chicago to start a new life, to breathe the air of freedom, because they had been living under Mussolini. And I was thrilled with the whole story, but I found out something even more special than that. There was a connection of that little village in the mountains to the royal family at the time, the last royal family of Italy before the end of World War II. 1943 was a pivotal year in the World War II. It was a year when everything began to shift in favor of the Allies. And no better place could you see that happening than in Italy itself. The King of Italy, Victor Emmanuel III, was figuring out a way to overthrow Mussolini without causing a revolution and having Italy totally decimated and destroyed as an independent country. His son, who would later become the last king of Italy, Umberto, and Umberto's wife, Princess Marie Jose, were also involved in a conspiracy with the Allies. And that conspiracy was to create an armistice in which the Allies would recognize Italy as an independent country, not affiliated with Nazi Germany, and able to establish a democratic government under King Victor Emmanuel III. So that princess went to my little village in the mountains as a way to get the a little town in the south near Naples, where the Allied troops were beginning to form as they began their march up the peninsula to take over Italy. And with her, she had an armistice agreement. That armistice agreement was presented to General Clark, and who headed the Fifth Army of the American Army, and was rejected because Princess Marie was not the monarch or the head of government. And she had to come back